I've also been an only child for 7 years. I'm a firstborn. And the thing about being a firstborn, it comes, you have to be you're basically a born leader. And you have to be the one to set a good example.
I think I talk about a woman who has been instrumental. There's my mom, but I'll specifically speak about my mom-in-law. She's a great woman and she's journeyed with me through marriage, because marriage is the one institution that you get a certificate before without experience. So she's been instrumental in giving me nuggets of wisdom. I think I'll share one on finances. She always says that you should spend sparingly, save regularly, and invest wisely. And in marriage, she's always told me that, you always say, these are our children, this is our house, but you only say, this is my husband. So that take care of it. If it's your husband, take care of your husband. If it's your wife, take care of your wife. So another thing she's also taught me is to be a woman, a virtuous woman, who is, in Kikuyu we call it mutumia agatha. So they say ogatha, as in being a virtuous woman, it doesn't just come. There are things you have to do. You have to read books. You have to, there are things you have to learn from people who've gone ahead of you. You have to be submissive. So I think she speaks to me every single day, even just to teach me, even as a woman, what are my roles, what are my responsibilities, even as a mother. So I think my mom-in-law has played a pivotal role in my marriage, and even to just encourage and to tell me, she always tells me, you see, the way in your house you should have everything, you should have in twos, so that when one breaks down, you have a spare. So there are so many things I've learned from her, even in terms of investment. And I hope that, I'll be more than what she is. So she's been instrumental in my life and in my marriage.
Beautiful. Just to add on to that, I think mothers are quite powerful human beings, and I would say also my mother has played an instrumental role in my life and how to view life. And I have 2 points. The first one is that she always tells me in Swahili, tenda wema nenda zako. And that is the most powerful thing. She constantly reminds me, because sometimes we are angry and we are quick to doing things without thinking, because you're feeling a lot of negative emotions. So for instance, when you're doing things for your family or for your friends, just do it with a clean heart, because God will reward you in the future. Then the other point, thank you. The other point was women don't give up. There are multiple times where my mom encourages me to not give up. Even when I was doing my master's, unfortunately there's a point where I wanted to give up. She's like, no, don't give up. Then you remember also, women are the ones who are given the gift of bringing life onto this earth. Delivery, a man is going to give up 2 seconds in, passed out. But women, we can persevere bringing a human being onto this earth. A woman is very resilient, very physically and emotionally strong. So we need to remember that we have no room for giving up. Yes.
Yeah, for me also, I would say my mom, in terms of being patient. That woman, she needs a stand of honor. She has a lot of patience and a lot of love to share, and a lot of wisdom also to share with other women. It's just that probably she's normally shy, because by the fact that she never went to school well, or she never got to get to college. But then again, I would love to see that other side of her. If she's given a platform to express herself, if she's willing to express herself in nurturing other women in terms of marriage, in terms of patience, in terms of love, I think she'll do it best, because I've watched her other women that I've seen and I've watched so closely are my aunts, my grandmothers. I have a grandmother called Teresia. Okay, that woman loves everyone, and I love the way she had 8 kids. All of them, she loves them equally. There's no one who gets more love than the other. And I know Ivy can attest to this. Like she also expresses her love by how she treats our grandpa. In our faces, how they just walk together, they hold hands in their old age, and that is just how they are, and they just show it outwardly. Also, I would also want to say there are other 2 who rested. I want to give a shout out to Madam Nancy Karanja. She was my biggest mentor. She really taught me how to stand up for myself. She was a brave woman, so she would stand up for herself in everything that she needed to do, especially in business. And also my paternal grandma, may her soul rest in peace also. She was a fighter. She raised her kids all by herself. She would go to Mombasa in a truck. See, not lorry, tinga, all the way from Njoro to Mombasa just to sell timber for her to raise her kids. And they would go just her and the driver. She was so brave. And they would also cross the ocean going to Malindi using the ferry. Them in a tinga full of the logs, all the way from Nakuru all the way to Mombasa. And I would see like that woman was so brave, just going from the forest. Kumbuka, the logs normally start from the forest. So she would sit in the forest, wait for them to be cut down, and then transport them to the Asians, because you know how Asians, they love their furniture and crafting their furniture. And so she would have those Asians, and they would go take those logs to those places. So she was I think she was a brave woman. That's how I would define her. She was brave. Walking from her marriage and then starting all over again and raising the kids, her 5 children. She did it perfectly. And so tough. She was tough.
Wow.
She was tough but brave.
Yeah.
I think one of the women who have also been very instrumental to me is my mother, like everyone shared. I feel like she was a bit tough growing up, but she also had a very soft side to her. So I feel like the woman I am today, the way I feel like I'm disciplined, and it's because of how she brought me up. So that's one of the things I love about her. The other woman who has shaped me today would be my first boss. Shout out Evelyn Kibuchi. She allowed me to be in spaces, like I was just an intern, but she allowed me to be in spaces where there are think tanks, and like she always wanted me to be exposed to that environment. In as much as I am an introvert, but that really shaped in how I see the world today, and the kind of the way I am open to conversations and other things. Yeah.
Amazing.
I love walking and talking to myself. You'd find me ukanipata kwa barabara siku niko na stress. Aye, my friend. I will tell you, and then I'll be listening maybe to a podcast while walking and talking and like just putting out the anger out there. I love that.
Mine is the same, walking in nature, talking to myself, even out loud. I really don't mind, as long as there's no one I can see nearby. So I love that. Yeah.
I think I cry. Crying helps me. So I cry a river. And then I also walk in nature. And I find a safe space. Maybe there's a friend who was my best mate in my wedding. So I call her up and I'm like, hey, this is happening. I'm not dying alone. And then from there, when it's shared, you feel lighter. Yeah. So that's how I deal with difficult moments.
Okay. For me, it's talking to God is something that I do a lot when I'm feeling stuck or when I'm experiencing challenges in my life. And that is where now you're the most vulnerable, and also you cry to him and tell him your problems. I can also say my friend, I have a dear friend, Sarah out. Shout out to my friend Rachel. She's one of my friends that we go on a spiritual journey on, where we encourage each other, we pray for each other, and we just vent to each other about these challenges of life, and at the end of it we come out feeling like we are gonna be okay. Yeah.
Venting. Me too, venting and praying really helps.
Parting shot is I'm currently reading a book, and it's about the art of war, but for in the context of women and how they can take up the learnings from the famous book of the art of war. So the most important thing is that we need to blossom where you are planted. So basically this means every experience that we have, both good and bad, helps shape who we are. And the example they used in this book was of Oprah. Oprah had gone through a lot of challenges while growing up. She'd gone through sexual abuse, losing a child and all that, and despite all that, she made something out of her career through her challenges. And she also never let things like race stop her from achieving her goals. And look at her now. So even when you're looking at yourself, whatever challenge you're going through in that particular moment and whatever season you're at, just remember to find an opportunity to blossom. You'll never, there's always gonna be an opportunity to grow, even during those challenges and even during those amazing successful times. There's always gonna be opportunity for growth. So we always look, and lastly, just look at the glass half full rather than half empty, because life is not a smooth line. So definitely you're going to experience challenges, but it's just mind perspective, like how nimeongea sana, but yeah, basically, just keep being positive and allow yourself to feel every feeling or every emotion during the season in your life. If you're sad, be sad. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be angry. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, for me, I would say trust yourself. Yeah, in everything that you're doing, in every season, trust yourself, trust your intuition.
I'd say trust in God. Always rely on God for anything that you need. If you're happy, tell God. If you're sad, tell God. Like, that's how I move through life.
And also listen to God.
Yeah.
I'd say motherhood is beautiful. Even as you journey through femininity and you become a mom, we become nurturers, we become caregivers, and it's a beautiful thing. It introduces you to another version of you. So yeah, shout out to all moms out there.
We love being women.